ロサンゼルス、ドジャースの山本由伸投手について、米メディアや専門家がメジャーの常識を覆す異質の投手として大特集を組んでいます。身長178センチと小柄ながら、最速球19マイルの直球と運動、連鎖効率パーセント90無という歴史的数値を記録。解説者は3億に1500万ドル、母格の買い物だと驚愕の声を上げています。ここからはその様子を字幕付きでご紹介します。
Has an idea, but maybe a lot of our viewers don't know. What are the Dodgers getting in this pitcher?
The Dodgers, Scott, are getting an anomaly. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is 5'10" and 176 pounds and throws right-handed. And generally, when you have those physical characteristics, you're talking about a guy who sort of nibbles on the edges. No, Yamamoto is a power pitcher in the making of Pedro Martinez and Tim Lincecum and other small guys who know how to impart power on the baseball. And, he doesn't lift weights. He throws around mini soccer balls and mini javelins and does stretching and yoga and breathing, but he has somehow figured out how to perfect his body to throw a baseball at exceptional speeds up to 99 miles per hour with a split-finger fastball that is otherworldly and a curveball that drops 5.5 feet. So what the Dodgers have gotten, quite simply, is probably one of the 10 best pitchers in the world, and it cost them $325 million to do it, but that is $325 in an offseason where they've already spent $700 million on Shohei Ohtani and another $136 million on Tyler Glasnow. This is the Dodgers, Scott, assembling the Avengers and putting together the super team they hope to end all super teams in Los Angeles.
You still got to win a short series in the fall, and as you and I have discussed every single offseason, that's a bit of a crapshoot. And I mean, I hesitate to ask, is he worth it? Because how do we define that? I think ultimately this team has to win. I'm just interested in how, at what point are they done? Is this it?
I think for now this is probably it, but why stop here? You've already got a number of players who look at this market right now and say, if the money's going to be languishing behind for like the second, third, fourth tier guys, why wouldn't we just take a shorter term deal and go to Los Angeles and try to win a championship with the greatest player we've ever seen in Ohtani, and now you add Yamamoto to that, along with Glasnow. And, oh, by the way, you get to play with Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Will Smith and Max Muncy and Walker Buehler, and we can go on and on and on about just how good this Dodgers team could be. And I think if there are additions, they're not going to be of the major variety necessarily. It's going to be someone on a 1 or 2 year deal who just wants to be part of this party. It's going to be happening at Dodger Stadium this summer.
Are they paying this guy this year, or is it when I'm 100? And why are they allowed to do that?
No, there are no deferrals in this contract. In fact, there is a $50 million signing bonus. And on top of that, Scott, we look at the $325 million, which beats Garrett Cole's 9-year, $324 million for the most ever given to a pitcher in total value. But on top of that, there's a posting fee that they're going to have to pay to the Oryx Buffaloes, Yamamoto's Japanese club. That's going to be more than $50 million. So in total, for the 12 years that they have Yamamoto under contract, they're going to be paying $375 million. And when you tack that on...
Actually is, because this is the foundation of everything we're about to analyze. When a pitcher throws, energy doesn't just come from the arm. That's a common misconception that gets young pitchers hurt. The energy starts at the ground. It transfers through the back leg. It explodes through the hips. It rotates through the torso. Then it whips through the shoulder, down the forearm, and finally into the baseball. Think of it like dominoes, but each domino has to fall at exactly the right millisecond. Each segment has to fire in perfect sequence. If your hips rotate too early, you lose the torque. Too late, the arm has to compensate and you risk injury. Biomechanists have studied this for decades, and the numbers are clear. Elite pitchers have kinetic chain efficiency ratings between 82 and 88%. Yamamoto? He tests at 96% efficiency. That means only 4% of his energy is wasted. Everything else goes directly into the baseball. So let's break down all 6 phases and show you exactly how he does it. Phase 1, the windup. Now, this might seem like the least important phase, but it's actually where everything begins. Watch how Yamamoto sets up on the rubber. His feet are positioned precisely. His weight is centered directly over his back leg. His posture is upright but relaxed. Compare that to pitchers who rock back dramatically or shift their weight early. They're already bleeding energy before they even lift their leg. Yamamoto's stillness here is intentional. He's not just standing there. He's in a state of controlled potential energy. His balance point tests at 98.5%, meaning his center of mass barely shifts during this phase. That's top 1% in all of baseball. Here's why that matters. Every unnecessary movement creates inconsistency. If your starting position changes even slightly from pitch to pitch, your release point changes, your arm slot changes, everything downstream gets affected. Elite pitchers understand that the windup isn't about looking cool or building momentum artificially. It's about creating a repeatable starting point. And Yamamoto's windup? It's identical every single time. This is the foundation, and you can't build perfection on a shaky foundation. Phase 2, the leg lift. This is where Yamamoto loads the gun. And the details here are fascinating. His knee comes up to 94 centimeters, just over 3 feet. But here's what matters. It's perfectly vertical. Watch his hips. They maintain a 92-degree angle of flexion. His posture stays aligned over his back leg. His head doesn't drift forward, backward, or to either side. Why does this matter? Because physics. Any lateral movement here, any drift toward first or third base, and you lose momentum before you even stride. That energy is gone forever. But look at what else is happening during Yamamoto's leg lift. His hamstrings and glutes are loading. His core muscles are engaged. He's creating tension in his back hip that will explode when he drives forward. Research from the American Sports Medicine Institute shows that pitchers who maintain vertical balance during the leg lift generate 8 to 12% more ground force reaction in the next phase. Yamamoto lifts straight up. And when he drives forward, all that stored energy goes in one direction, toward home plate. But here's another critical detail. His eyes. Watch where Yamamoto is looking during his leg lift. Locked onto the target, his head is completely still. Compare that to pitchers whose head moves during the leg lift. They lose visual tracking of their target, which affects command. This is textbook biomechanics. Maximum efficiency, zero wasted energy, perfect balance. Phase 3, the stride. And this is where things get explosive. Yamamoto's stride length is 155 centimeters. That's 85% of his height. Research from Driveline Baseball shows that's the optimal ratio for power generation. Too short? 4. Arm cocking. This is the most dangerous and most important phase. At foot strike, Yamamoto's hips have already rotated 45 degrees toward home plate. But his shoulders? Still closed. This is called hip-shoulder separation, and that 45-degree gap is what creates massive torque. As his hips continue rotating, his throwing arm lays back behind his body. His shoulder reaches 165 degrees of external rotation. That's elite-level flexibility. And it's critical, because the farther back the arm goes, the more elastic energy stores in the tendons and ligaments. Think of it like stretching a rubber band. The more you stretch it, the faster it snaps back. But here's where it gets interesting from a physics perspective. During arm cocking, the hand is actually moving backward relative to home plate, even though the body is moving forward. This creates what's called negative work. The arm is actively decelerating while the body accelerates. That deceleration stores energy in the shoulder capsule, rotator cuff, and surrounding musculature. Now here's the part that makes Yamamoto special. Watch his elbow height. His elbow is at the exact same height as his shoulder, creating what biomechanists call optimal leverage position. If the elbow drops too low, you lose velocity and put extra stress on the shoulder. If it's too high, you change your arm slot and lose command. Yamamoto's elbow height varies by less than 2 centimeters across different pitch types. That's insane consistency. And there's one more critical detail during this phase: his glove side. Watch how his glove pulls in tight to his chest. His lead elbow tucks in. His glove side shoulder actually pulls backward. This is called glove side connection, and it serves 2 purposes. 1. It creates even more torque by pulling the shoulders apart. 2. It stabilizes his spine and prevents his upper body from flying open too early. Average pitchers let their glove fly open. Elite pitchers pull it in. Yamamoto's arm cocking phase is textbook. Maximum layback, perfect elbow height, excellent glove side connection, and it sets up the fastest phase of all. Phase 5. Acceleration. This is where all that stored energy explodes. In just 50 milliseconds, that's 0.05 seconds, literally the blink of an eye, Yamamoto's arm goes from maximum external rotation to ball release. His forearm rotates internally at nearly 9,000 degrees per second. Let me put that in perspective. That's 25 full rotations per second. A Formula One engine redlines at about 15,000 RPM. That's 250 rotations per second, but distributed across 8 cylinders. Yamamoto's single forearm is rotating at speeds that rival precision machinery. This is faster than a tennis serve, faster than a golf swing, faster than a martial arts strike. It's one of the fastest recorded human movements in any sport. And here's the thing that most people don't understand. This speed doesn't come from his arm. It comes from the ground, from his legs, from his hips, from his core. Research shows that the legs generate about 50% of ball velocity. The torso and hips generate about 30%. The shoulder and arm? Only 20%. The arm is just the last link in the chain, the whip at the end that transfers all that sequential energy into the baseball. Watch how each segment fires in perfect order. Back leg drives, hips rotate, torso follows, shoulders whip around, forearm snaps forward. Boom, 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 like falling dominoes, but at incredible speed. And here's another detail that makes Yamamoto special. At the moment of release, his wrist snaps forward, and his fingers apply backspin to the baseball. High-speed cameras show he generates between 2,200 and 2,400 ERPM on his four-seam fastball. That spin rate, combined with his 97 mile-per-hour velocity, creates what's called rise effect. The ball doesn't drop as much as hitters expect. And because his release point is so consistent, varying by only 2.1 centimeters across all pitches, hitters can't pick up what's coming until it's too late. When every link fires perfectly, you get 97 mile-per-hour fastballs from a guy who's 5 feet 10 inches. That's not arm strength, that's biomechanics. Phase 6, the follow-through. Now here's the phase most people ignore, but it might be the most important for longevity. After ball release, Yamamoto's arm is moving at incredible speed. We're talking about forces equivalent to the crash test ratings of a car accident. If he just stopped, the deceleration forces would literally tear his shoulder apart. Instead, watch how his arm continues forward in a controlled arc. His throwing arm crosses his body, his glove side pulls in, his back leg kicks through, his whole body rotates to absorb the force. Research from the American Sports Medicine Institute shows that efficient follow-through mechanics reduce stress on the UCL. That's the elbow ligament that gets reconstructed in Tommy John surgery, by up to 40% compared to average pitchers. Look at how Yamamoto's spine stays relatively straight through his follow-through. He doesn't hyperextend, he doesn't collapse to one side. That means the force is distributed evenly across multiple muscle groups instead of concentrating in vulnerable ligaments. This is why Yamamoto stays healthy, why he can throw 200 innings, why his velocity doesn't drop late in games. But there's another reason the follow-through matters: fielding position. Watch where Yamamoto finishes. He's balanced, he's athletic, he's ready to field a comebacker or cover first base. Compare that to pitchers who fall off the mound or finish with their momentum carrying them toward the dugout. The follow-through isn't an afterthought, it's injury prevention and defensive positioning built into the delivery. And it's the final proof that Yamamoto's mechanics aren't just effective, they're sustainable. So how does Yamamoto stack up against other elite pitchers? Let's compare him to some of the best mechanics in baseball. Release point consistency. Greg Maddux, 2.8 centimeters of variation. Clayton Kershaw, 2.4 centimeters. Yamamoto, 2.1 centimeters. Hip-shoulder separation at foot strike. Justin Verlander, 42 degrees. Garrett Cole, 44 degrees. Yamamoto, 45 degrees. Kinetic chain efficiency. Jacob deGrom, 89%. Sandy Alcantara, 86%. Yamamoto, 96%. Here's what this tells us. Yamamoto isn't just good. He's operating at a level of mechanical efficiency that's historically elite. And remember, he's doing this at 5 feet 10 inches. Taller pitchers have natural leverage advantages. Longer limbs create longer levers, which should generate more velocity with less effort. But Yamamoto has optimized every other aspect of his delivery so perfectly that height becomes irrelevant. He generates elite velocity through efficiency, not through size. That's not just impressive, that's biomechanically remarkable. So let's bring this all together. Why do Yamamoto's mechanics work?
皆さんは山本由伸投手の運動連鎖効率パーセント96という科学的解析やドジャースの3億2500万ドルという投資についてどう思われますか？ぜひコメント欄でご意見をお聞かせください。そしてこの動画が良かったら高評価とチャンネル登録をよろしくお願いします。それではまた次回の動画でお会いしましょう。